He said, this guy, I thought chair, and I like a circle chair, and then I rewrote to have a circle chair. That's what he said.
Do you think within the creative process it's a straight line?
No.
Are you high?
I think
Is this studio not something that you've been slamming your into
listening.
for years?
He's the kind of
Did you have the perfect studio during the first treatment, metaphorically speaking?
But I didn't come in and say like, I saw wood and I want to remake my studio.
No.
It was intentional from start to finish. Intentional.
No, bullshit.
Intentional.
You smashed everyone involved in this project, by the way, and this is not a personal attack, but you smashed your into a wall for years until you got to the perfect thing. And so, by the way, that's what he's doing in the creative process.
How's life?
Are we live now?
We've been live the whole time.
Then why didn't you make it more exciting? Like, oh my God,
I just
hi
told
guys,
you because
welcome
I'm
to the
sick.
live
I'm
stream.
sick.
Hey, we're so excited to have you here
I'm not
today.
excited. I'm sick.
Okay.
I just told you that. Why would I tell you personally I'm sick? You know I'm sick.
Because fake it until you make it.
Okay. 1 sec. Hold on.
Yeah, do an intro. Got to give the people what they want.
They can see us.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to my stream. Today I'm joined by an esteemed Warhammer 40K model painter extraordinaire and player, medium-ish, would you say?
Yeah.
Who also joins us after 4 years of police service following 4 years of committed time serving his country in the Marines.
I could do that better. Yeah. Hi, guys. My name's Connor. You might have seen me on stream before, and I am a science fiction, political, and philosophy nerd and a Marine Corps and law enforcement veteran, and I did spend 4 years in both services. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Next time, why don't you just fucking do it?
I will.
You're going to be... Okay. Why don't you tell us... Hold on. People, is the auto switcher working or not? Why don't you tell us what is your favorite Warhammer 40K unit and why?
Faction, Death Watch. Why? Because it's awesome. Do you want the whole lore?
Why Death Watch? How many points is Death Watch worth?
Death Watch is a faction, so you can have like 2,000 points of any faction.
Yeah, I know, but I meant the best unit in it.
The best unit in it?
Yeah.
Probably veterans. Veterans are like 18 to 25 points, depending on how you...
Now, do you feel like that's actually gameplay justified, or do you just pick that because you are a veteran?
I pick it just because I am a veteran. I always pick aesthetics, so rule of cool over anything else. I'm actually horrible at tabletop. You calling that out where I'm an above average painter and I'm a very mediocre Warhammer player, that's actually 100% accurate. I've lost as many games as I've won.
That's not that bad.
No.
If you're like in a professional league or whatever.
Yeah, if I was a professional league, it would be embarrassing, but professional players of Warhammer are actually embarrassing.
Like, why would they be embarrassing?
Because they do whack, win at any cost tactics, which I'm assuming is like a, something that you might be familiar with from your RTS days. But effectively, you stop caring about what's fun, aesthetically pleasing, what's interesting about the lore. You just, play to win.
Do you think it says something about, does it speak to the weakness of Warhammer 40K as a tabletop game if you have to do uncool things to win the game?
Yes.
Wow. Are you worried about the flack you're going to catch from the Warhammer 40K community by saying that?
Not at all.
Why won't the developers make a cooler rule set? Are there custom rule sets that make it cool?
Yeah. There's something called one-page rules. They simplify everything. I also I basically got back into the game during 8th edition, which was a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 8th edition was a very simplified rule set for casuals.
Because by 7, it had just gotten out of control.
Yes, actually.
And then 8th brought in some new players that they released, you said a few years ago, right? 3 years ago?
No, it might have been more than that because time is flying by because I'm old as hell.
Okay. Warhammer 40K as a tabletop game started, I believe it was in the 1980s, right?
1987. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you've been able to carry it for this long, bro. I'm surprised.
Well, I'm a big Warhammer 40K fan, actually.
Yeah, apparently.
So,
You've been watching some of my videos, apparently.
It was heavily inspired by the StarCraft universe, so...
you're just saying stuff to upset me
now. Actually, I don't know what came first, Warhammer or Alien.
Aliens, I would have to check the original release date. But the whole point of Warhammer, actually, let me expand a little bit. Warhammer was, in the 1980s, was a bunch of British boys who decided that they wanted to make a hardcore Lord of the Rings. And so they took the Lord of the Rings lore, they made it awesome, badass. They added in horror elements and all that kind of stuff. Then in the mid 1980s, they said, what if we make a sci-fi version of this? And then they made that in 1987. So in 1987, they popped off, they go into the science fiction setting. So Eldar, Orc, Tau, Tyranids, all these alien races, they're projected in 40,000 years into the future, and then mankind also just totally gets derailed. And so the whole setting is supposed to be raging against the dying of the light, where effectively the world is falling apart and you're going to die horribly. So your options are become a traitor and betray everything that you know and love, or fight valiantly and die valiantly trying to save humanity.
Okay.
Or you can be an alien.
So what are the main races in?
I would say Tyranids, Orcs, Necrons, Tau, Imperial, Chaos.
6 different races or factions?
Like Chaos is humans, Imperial is humans, but Chaos is mutated. I don't know if you want to talk about Warhammer the whole time, but I'll talk about Warhammer the entire time. Necrons is definitely a different race. Tau is definitely a different race. Tyranid is definitely a different race. Orcs is definitely a different race.
Okay.
And then Votan are space dwarves. They're kind of human, but they're kind of not.
Cool. Can these all breed with each other?
No.
Okay. That's how I would determine if you're the same race or not, you know?
They're not. And space racism is very...
The first 2 that you talked about, though, Chaosids and Nekids or whatever.
Necrons and Chaos?
Yeah. No. What was the very first one?
I don't know. Imperial?
Tetrads?
Tyranids?
Tyranids.
Tyranids eat everything.
But can they have babies with the Chaos ones?
Well, weirdly enough, they should by lore.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Tyranids, weirdly enough, they do, I don't want to say bang humans, but they infect humans.
Okay. Of the 6 races, which one has the females with the largest boobs?
Let me think. I think it's actually humans.
Based. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, so specifically Slanesh, which are demons. Actually, you might be a fan of Slanesh, to be honest. So Slanesh is the god of excess. And so she wants you to do hard drugs, have promiscuous sex, and do that until you die as aggressively as possible.
And which race is she?
Chaos.
Okay. And they're successful?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have their own demon worlds. They have orgies. They have Colosseum bouts. They like fighting. They like doing other things that we can't mention here. TOS purposes.
Oh. What was that? What was the last Warhammer game that came out?
Space Marine 2.
Oh, and that was a good game.
It was a phenomenal game. I tried to get you to play it.
Why didn't we play? What happened?
There was a little bit of drama around that time.
Okay.
It got released in the fall of last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Warhammer the whole time?
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm just chatting, okay?
Okay. All right. Give me a little bit of latitude, and if you want to go back to Warhammer, we can go back to Warhammer.
Okay.
Okay. So the main thing that's going on with me is Warhammer has broken 100K. I'm very excited about that. It's doing well.
Warhammer has broken 100K.
Or my Warhammer channel
so
has broken
my
100,000
fans might
subs.
not know, because my fans know you as a conservative political agitator on my
Sure.
stream. You come
Sure.
in to rile me up.
Yeah.
Other people around the world know you as
Counterpoints 40K.
40K.
Yeah. So Counterpoints 40K is my Warhammer channel. That's broken 100,000 subs. It's doing pretty well. Then the other thing that I'm doing is I'm working for a place called Valor Media Network, which is a brand new channel. It's actually an offshoot of Midas Touch. And effectively, it's first responders, veterans, all that kind of stuff. And they're trying to make like better content for self-improvement to kind of be an alternative to the red pill. That's what most of it is. And then I'm like their schizophrenic live streamer that goes into the alt media space and reviews all the debate content and politics of the day.
Okay.
And so that's like, those are my 2 jobs. That's what I'm doing right now.
Gotcha.
So if you want to talk about schizophrenic politics, we can talk about schizophrenic politics. If you want to talk about Warhammer, we can talk about Warhammer. I'm very flexible.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I like talking about Slanesh and boobs and stuff, but I also like talking about, how the world's most powerful man, or hold on.
I talk about a lot of politics. I don't get to talk about Warhammer a lot, so I was just,
Okay,
just
well,
curious.
yeah, but the world's most richest man called the world's most powerful man a pedophile last night.
He deleted that tweet, so he took it back. So
Okay.
that's no longer
No
there.
big deal. No big deal because he deleted it.
He took backseated. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think the whole point of
Just
deleting
like
a tweet is?
big oopsies.
Yeah, they're Elon and Trump. They're friends forever, according to people 6 months ago. So
Sure.
Do you think that's a problem that Elon knew Trump was a pedophile the entire time?
Yeah.
And let his kid hang out with him?
Yeah.
Do you think
Well, hold on. A phoebophile, let's be fair.
Oh, true.
Right. Because
His kid's not quite old enough for that.
Trump was banging teenagers allegedly.
Allegedly.
And Jeffrey Epstein was banging teenagers allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right.
Until Trump had him killed in federal prison.
Right, because he was the president at the time.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about that fight? How did that make you feel when you saw your two conservative heroes going at it on Twitter?
I'm pretty sure I laughed for, probably the better part of an hour because I've been fighting. So I'm a never Trump Republican. I've been somebody who's been fighting tooth and nail against this entire movement the entire time, and I've caught endless amounts of shit for it. And so to have the world's most rich man who backed MAGA and the world's most powerful man, the president of the United States, one of them is saying that they're an idiot and they need to have all their contracts canceled, which is going to lead to an economic implosion. And then the other one's calling him a pedophile associated with one of the deepest honeypot psychological operations of the past few decades. That's fantastic for me because I feel like I'm vindicated in all of my criticisms for the past decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that, do you think they're going to get over this? Still be friends, or?
No.
Do you think Trump's going to cancel contracts ultimately to Elon's companies?
I think what Elon is going to do is he's going to shut up about it so he doesn't lose all his contracts, and then Trump isn't going to cancel all his contracts because he knows that Elon will make a bunch of noise. And if Elon gets killed, he's a big enough liability that would cause an uproar as well. So you can't assassinate him, you can't cancel all his contracts, and you can't deal with the Epstein thing fully, which is crazy to me. I don't know if you guys remember this. There's a guy named Jack Posobiec. I hate him. He's a lying propagandist piece of shit on the internet. And he was given the Epstein Files Part 1. And on Twitter, there's a picture of him proudly holding the Epstein Files Part 1. We have Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, saying like, oh, we don't have anything definitive in the videos. Did you follow
that Epstein Files Part 1 thing?
No, I didn't. Okay. Effectively, I thought it was all bullshit, or I heard it was all bullshit.
It was.
Then AG Pam Bondi, she is contradicting Kash Patel and saying that there are tens of thousands of hours of Jeffrey Epstein either consuming minor pornography or engaging in sex acts with minors.
Tens of thousands of hours?
Yes, of videos.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of phoebophilia.
They did a thing where they brought in a bunch of conservative influencers, alternative media guys, and they gave them part 1 of the Epstein files, and they started going through it, and they realized this is everything we already know, and it's already been released. And I don't know if Pam or anyone else just didn't go through it, and then all of a sudden they came out on the media to do like apologize, or not to try to do like PR for it. They were like, oh no, we actually, what happened is we found out that I think the Southern District of New York or some federal office was keeping all of the secret Epstein files from us.
Right.
And now we're going to get that, and we're waiting for that. And the reality is, I don't know if you've ever heard my take on this, because I did a deep dive for all of 3 hours into the Epstein stuff.
Yep.
And not to shock anybody, my audience already hates me for this, but I actually think that what happened was I think Epstein was a really rich guy, and he got busted for some bad shit, and his life was fucked, and he was in a shitty prison, and he just killed himself.
No, I agree with you.
And I think nobody likes that answer. And I think that's it. And I think that now that these guys have like gotten hold of the files, Kash Patel and then, how do you pronounce it? Bongino? Dan Bongino.
Yeah,
they were looking through it and they were like, fuck, there's nothing here.
Well, here's the question though. So I agree with you that he probably killed himself. And the reason why I infer that is because I think he's a nihilist and a hedonist. Where basically, like, I don't think that you can sexually abuse dozens upon dozens upon dozens of teenagers without effectively not believing in a higher power or a higher consequence.
Do you think, wait, just curious,
sure.
Because I'm asking, was it lots and lots of teenagers?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I saw in the accusations there was only one person that had come forward that was a teenager. Were there lots of other ones?
Was it Jeffrey?
I don't know the name.
Okay. I'm pretty sure
that the name? Jeffrey?
Yeah, Giuffre.
That's a real life name?
That's her last name.
Oh.
I forget her first name.
Okay.
But she, if I remember correctly, she's the one that was in a substantive amount of the photos. But yeah, if I remember what, I've read and half watched and all that kind of stuff, is effectively what they would do is they would cruise for teenage girls who were in West Palm or, South Florida. We're in South Florida right now. They would look for high school girls that basically didn't have a large and vibrant social support system. They would recruit them in order to be masseurs. And then once they were recruited in as masseurs, then they would try to lead them into prostitution. And so that's the accusation. I don't think there's actually any, to my knowledge, there's no prepubescent pedophilia accusations. It's all post-pubescent teenage girl, minor. Those are the accusations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna come from that, but they have Diddy that they can like bank all their crazy conspiracies on.
Well, let me push you a little bit though. So I think that the guy killed himself. However, Ghislaine Maxwell's father is Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell was somebody who did a pyramid scheme, and he was a three-way spy for the United Kingdom, Israel, and Russia. And so my suspicion would be that Jeffrey Epstein, the reason why we haven't seen a substantive amount of the blackmail that was generated from this underage prostitution with wildly powerful people, is because it was probably used as leverage during intel operations.
Wow. Was Epstein's dad a spy for 3 different people or just an informant?
Ghislaine Maxwell's father,
Maxwell.
Robert Maxwell.
Was he a spy for 3 different countries?
I think he was a spy for 3 different people.
How sure are we of that?
70%.
Okay. The only reason, one of the issues that I run into with a lot of this kind of stuff is I feel like
I'm going to move this a little bit so I can look at you. I have neck issues, so you're going to have to forgive me.
I don't. I feel like if the people were powerful enough for some of this to be true, then other parts would be not true. Like why would anybody allow Epstein to be arrested if they had all these powerful connections and all the leverage and everything?
Because he fucked up and he got caught.
How?
I'm pretty sure it was a state case.
Yeah, but then in TV shows, the feds always show up and like, we're taking over. Like you're not supposed. Do you ever see that one movie with Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
And the guys show up at his house and then he goes to the place and they're questioning him and she's like, we're going to find out who you are. And then like a fed comes in, he's like, you weren't supposed to talk to this guy. Like, where was that guy for Epstein?
Sure. That guy, if I remember correctly, is his last name could be Acosta, it could be something else. But effectively,
Acosta.
There was a federal prosecutor who got him like the sweetheart deal in reference to the state.
He worked as the Trump Department of Labor Secretary of 2017 to 2019.
Right. So that's the guy who came in and got him the sweetheart deal and basically said, don't worry, we got it. We're going to hit him with a book. And then what did they really hit him with? They hit him with house arrest that wasn't even house arrest. He was allowed
why
to
did he get
travel
mega arrested the second time then, though?
Why did he get mega arrested?
If he's got compromise on all these different rich, powerful, wealthy
Probably
people.
because they couldn't ignore it anymore.
How could they not? Nobody knew anything. They could just...
No, because not everybody is going to obey the chain of command. That's actually one of the cool things about having an open society is that you can have like mini cartels and niches of people who all scratch each other's backs, but there can be people outside of those niches that don't scratch backs and don't care and will call it out.
Okay.
Okay.
It just seems to me like if we're running with this, he's got compromising material on people all over the world and all the wealthiest people are, after him. Or not after him, but are like under his thumb. How is it that one do-gooder prosecutor guy could be like, we've got him, and we're gonna fight against like his training day? That just seems like a lot.
Well, call me conspiratorial. I'm sure DGG will, but I'm more of like, plata or plomo is like, a concept within like the cartels in Central and South America. Basically means silver or lead. So I think that a lot of people who like the female escorts, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, they probably engage in this behavior and then they were paid off. And so, silver or lead, we can kill you or we can pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep your mouth shut. And probably plenty of people are like, okay, I like money and I don't like being killed.
Okay. If Epstein was a character in Warhammer 40K, how many points would he be worth in a game?
Oh, he would be like a headquarters. So he'd probably be worth like around 200. Be like 10% of an army.
That's a lot.
It is.
And what bonus characteristics would he have as a headquarters unit?
He'd probably be like Gene Stealer Cult. So Gene Stealer Cult is like a faction that infiltrates human races and then like does like a rebellion or whatever. So he would probably be like, I forget what they call it, but there's like the Patriarch and there's something else. And there's like this, basically Gene Stealer Cult. We were talking about sex earlier. Gene Stealer Cult, a gene stealer is it's like an alien from Aliens, but then it infects worlds using an ovipositor, which is actually like an insect-based thing. So it stabs you with an ovipositor and it makes you incredibly horny. And so then you'll hook up with every single thing around you. And then as a result, you will infect everyone around you. So if I had to guess based off of like gene stealer lore, he's not quite like a gene stealer patriarch, but he's one of the people who runs around infecting people.
Gotcha.
Right.
Are there any synergies in Warhammer 40K for units?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just curious. This morning.
If you keep fucking around, you're gonna accidentally become a Warhammer 40k.
I'm just
fan.
asking you. I'm already halfway there. I'm a fan of StarCraft. I'm a fan of Alien. I've got like half the lore already through osmosis. Okay?
This might be a mistake for you, though. It's a very expensive hobby.
Okay.
Okay. It's fine. I just want to give you a heads
All
up.
right, don't worry. I'm pursuing other very expensive hobbies right now.
Okay.
One of which we partook in this morning.
Yes,
We went shooting guns.
we did.
How was that fun for you?
It was beautiful. One shot Steve. He had every single thing that he was going for.
That's
just like
true. Every
we
single
went
one.
to the so we zeroed in the rifle.
Single shot, Steve. But
Single shot Steve. Yeah.
Single shot,
So
Steve.
we zeroed in the rifle, very easy, knocked it out of the park first time around, no complications. And then we went to the bays and we did skeet shooting, and you hit every single target every single time. It was awesome. It was
awesome.
breathtaking.
It was quite impressive.
Yeah. Like as a former military member and law enforcement officer, I'm frankly blown away. Like I can't believe you haven't been recruited.
My favorite one was doing double doubles. Like the guy at the stand didn't know what's a double double. He said a double double is when you do like 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You do 2 pulls, but at the same time. And he said, "Oh, you can't do that because you only have 2 shells."
Yeah, and you were like,
And I said,
bop, bop.
Boom, and then
bop.
and then bop bop. Yeah,
Dude,
and he'd
killed it.
never seen it before. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised. Like you guys,
like,
you don't do double
You
doubles
run this
here?
range and you can't even do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That was impressive.
thank you.
Yeah, there's like a tear coming to my eye. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, but what was your favorite part about shooting today, and how did it make you feel?
I think my favorite part about it was probably like we were actually running the skeet range, and you made it. We're not going to move on until we hit every single target. And I don't think I said I hit every single target, but I think I got like 3 out of 4 sometimes. And basically, it is a good feeling when you can just line up a shot. There's a target moving, you blast it, and it shatters through the air. It's a very satisfying feeling.
It is satisfying.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun than shooting at targets. Right? What?
What?
That wasn't a joke.
Okay, shooting at like
Targets. I said like if you go to like a range.
like a static target,
yeah.
a target that doesn't move.
Yeah, like at a range. Like when you
Plays are
set
better
up a
than targets. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody knew what I meant. I don't know why you made that more complicated.
I didn't
than
know
it
what
needed
you
to be.
meant, so that was
Okay.
just double checking.
Gotcha. My bad.
Okay,
You agree, right?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know the range was as limited on birdshot. When you said that one thing, I assumed that they were like decorations in the background. I didn't know that we all stood in circles shooting at each other, but it's like
No, it was
that
beautiful.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for the, I guess birdshot is only really effective out to, I guess the guy said like 150 yards.
yep.
So like 400 yards away, you can see other people that are like shooting at you doing clays. And
I'll describe it just in case people are lost. The range that we were on was 400 yards, and all of the bays faced inward. And I was wondering how we were not going to get hit by shot. And he said that the range itself is 400 yards. So even though we're all actually shooting at each other, it won't go the full distance, which is dope. I thought that was totally dope. I thought it was an excellent range.
it was super
Shout out to Fish and Wildlife in South Florida.
And all the range guys are real nice.
They were. Yeah, I forget their names, but they were great. Let me hit you with something political. That way we're not bouncing off of Warhammer and then pedophilia and then sex and then all this other stuff.
Okay.
So one of the things that I think DGG scoffed at from
Yeah.
a conversational level was probably about a year ago. I told you, and I think I told Pisco at the same time, that I felt like power was the result of like force at the end of the day. And so some DGGers scoffed because specifically they said, well, what do you think is more important, the Constitution or guns? And I think I said guns. And they were like, what? Fascist? Get out of here. But nowadays, I think more DGG can be sympathetic to my position, where when you have the Supreme Court saying one thing and you have Trump saying one thing, what's actually the decision maker? So has your perspective evolved at all in reference to what power it is, or what power is and where it stems from?
I don't know what our position exactly was, or what we were arguing back then, because I feel like my position for several years has always been that basically whoever has the most power can enforce their own morality or whatever. That's just the way of the world.
Sure.
So, I mean, like right now, I mean, obviously the executive has the power to be powerful, but I mean, like if they're reined in by the courts all the time, I think that is problematic for them, as we've seen it be problematic.
What's backing in the powers of those branches, though? That's what I'm asking. Because my argument would be it's men with guns. That would be my argument.
Maybe in some like hyper really reductive sense, maybe, but I think it's broadly speaking, it's the collection of people who make up the United States. But you could say it's because there are more of those people and they have more guns, but
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I would say.
okay.
So, like, what in my opinion, what's going on when you're talking about like a constitutional crisis? If we all stop believing in these ideas, then the Constitution is just another piece of paper. The only thing that really motivates us in order to vest power into these institutions is the power that we themselves grant. But that is all rooted into what are you willing to do in order to protect that power, and
That's
then
probably true
ultimately
to some extent, yeah.
yeah, and then ultimately I think that boils down to violence,
Yeah.
justified violence, but violence.
Yeah. I don't think I necessarily disagree, right?
Okay. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, that's where the country came from,
That
right?
was a
It's
big
like-
deal back in the day. I'm just saying. I got some DGGers who were like, "Oh,
I feel like if we were to revisit that argument, if we were to look at that,
Constitution, bro."
I feel like it would look a little different, okay?
What would?
I don't know what that argument was exactly about.
Sure. Well, if we agree, we agree. I'm just saying. You know, there were some DGGers who thought that I was a fascist because I thought that governmental authority was ultimately backed by power.
What of the 6 factions, who would believe that most in Warhammer?
All of them.
Okay. All makes sense because they're fighting
The
for power.
Tau the least. That's the only thing that I could say. Tau actually engaged in diplomacy. Everybody else believes in force.
Did it work out for them?
Yeah. Actually, everybody's doing really well in their own respective corners of the galaxy,
Okay.
except for mankind.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to be vulgar. I'm just going to assume my mom isn't listening to this podcast. The butthole of the galaxy was where all the warp demons and chaos faction were able to come into the.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
Okay. She's not listening.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. Anyways, so the butthole of the galaxy was called the Eye of Terror, and chaos used to emanate from that because it was the biggest rip in space time from which they could emanate.
Okay.
And so, what's happened recently in the galactic narrative is that butthole has been torn open. Okay. And so now there's a fissure, kind of like when a pregnant woman, tears the lining between her butt and her, genitalia. There's a fissure running down the center of the galaxy. And so now chaos forces can just spill out wherever they want to.
Is Warhammer 40K an intergalactic thing, or does it all happen within the Milky Way galaxy?
It happens exclusively within the Milky Way galaxy.
Why?
Why? Because it's like regional, but even, believe it or not, Star Trek is only galactic.
No way, is it?
Yes. Yes, it is. No, that's one of the things that I researched. I was researching because I was trying to take all of science fiction and I was trying to pile it into a single narrative. Like most science fiction stories, they don't even try to conceptualize another galaxy because the galaxy is already so huge.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I know.
Alien is probably just intergalactic or intragalactic then, too.
Yeah, it's very early space colonization.
Why don't they just go further? And then they wouldn't have to fight with everybody else.
Because there's within the galaxy or outside of the galaxy?
Why don't they go to another galaxy in Warhammer 40K? Wouldn't they be so much happier?
Because weirdly enough, all the space between galaxy, the Necrons explored it, or at least the Silent Link King did, and the dark spaces of the galaxy are filled with more Tyranids. So there's an extra galactic species that only consumes the galaxy and life forms as if they were locusts. And when he traveled into the deep black, he found just those guys floating around, and he didn't find any other kind of life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about
I'm just gonna stare at you until you crack.
I never crack.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Time for our next segment. Give me that keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
I have an important question to ask you, okay?
Okay. Keyboard and mouse.
Who is this guy? Don't know, don't care. Okay, this is an important one. You have a law enforcement background and a military background, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I be watching this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a little movie called Men in Black?
Of course. I love Men in Black.
Yeah?
Yeah. Are we going to watch Will Smith shoot a little girl in the face?
Why?
Huh? What?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the scene. He shoots a little girl in the face for trespassing or jaywalking.
What about it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you were going to ask my opinion about it.
Why would I ask your opinion about that scene?
I don't know, because it's not a justified use of force.
Okay.
That's the most law enforcement relevant thing that I can think of in Men in Black.
Okay, that was interesting you went there. You're close, but
Yeah.
not that. I
Okay.
need you to be thinking harder than you've ever
harder
thought before. I need you to be really
I'll try.
I need you to be really in the zone for this one.
I'm Full attention.
Okay. You sure you're in the zone for this?
No, but I'll do my very best.
Okay, zone up.
Okay.
Will Smith's character here,
Yeah.
right? He's going to the Men in Black training center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude gave me this card the other elevator.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There he goes.
Okay.
I need you to be.
They don't make them like them used to. Yeah.
They don't. I need you to be locked in. Are you locked the fuck in?
I'm really trying, yeah.
Okay. All right. Pay very close.
I have no idea where this is going, and I'm
It's not-
absolutely
it's just-
paying attention.
It's not going anywhere. I just need you to pay attention.
Sure.
Okay?
You're late. Sit down.
Rip to that guy. Rip Thorn.
My name is Zed. You're all here because you're the best of the best. Marines, Air Force, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, NYPD. And we're looking for one of you. Just one. What will follow is a series of simple tests for motor skills, concentration, stamina. I see we have a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe you already answered this, but why exactly are we here?
Son?
Second Lieutenant Jake Jensen, West Point, graduate with honors. We're here because you're looking for the best of the best of the best, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have the answer and everything. Okay. You're paying. Okay. Lock in.
I'm locked in.
Stay
I'm paying
locked in.
attention. I'm
Think about.
listening.
Here's what I want you to think about as we're watching this. Okay.
Okay.
What are the other characters thinking about each other in this scene, and how do they feel about each other as the scene progresses? Okay.
Are you asking me rhetorically, or do you want me to hold my answers
Hold
until
your
the
answer.
end?
Just think. Think.
Okay.
About it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. I'm listening.
What's so funny, Edwards?
Your boy Captain America over here. The best of the best of the best, sir. Yeah, with honors. You know, he's just really excited and he has no clue why we're here. That's very funny to me. Y'all ain't laughing though.
Note the facial expressions. Think about what they might mean. Okay. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
tracking.
Okay, let's get going.
Wanna get down on this?
I want you to think a lot about this scene. Okay.
Dude, I'm locked in. I'm
Just
here.
think a lot
you,
about it.
you don't understand. This is like one of my second favorite films ever.
Okay.
Dude,
This is one of your second favorite. You have multiple second favorite films.
No, so Independence Day is the other peak Will Smith movie from the late 1990s. This is number 2.
Okay.
So this movie is straight fire. I've
That's
probably
good.
seen it like 1,000 times.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you said that.
I'm
Connor.
wondering if I'm going to get what the question is wrong because I'm actually scared.
I
now
hope you
because
don't.
I've seen it so many times.
I really hope you don't. 'Cause
Okay.
I would be very disappointed. But
I hope not to disappoint you in the next several minutes.
okay.
Edwards, what the hell happened?
Hesitated.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?
Well, she was the only one that actually seemed dangerous at the time, sir.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first I was gonna pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on a treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling, he's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. Then I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I'd say she's up to something. And to be honest, I'd appreciate it if you eased up off my back about it.
Note the.
Yeah, the facial expression. I was tracking. I love this guy,
Or
too.
do I owe her an apology? That was a good shot, though, right?
He's got a real problem with authority.
So do I. But this kid ran down a cephalopoid. On foot, boss. That's got to be tough enough.
Let's hope you know what you're doing.
All right.
I'm good. I feel like I have a grasp of it, so I'm very curious what your
I'm going to
question's
make
gonna be.
two statements about what we just saw, and I want you
Sure.
to choose which statement is more likely.
Uh-huh.
Statement 1.
Uh-oh.
Incoming Agent J completely botches all of this. Not impressive in the written part, not impressive in the shooting part, irritating and annoying to Zed, but K's adamant insistence he chased down a cephalopod that he should be included in the Men in Black is the reason why Zed passes him. Or statement 2, okay, incoming Agent J shows an exceptional ability to improvise.
2 all day. I can answer it already.
Okay,
Why? Why don't you like that answer?
Okay.
No, we're gonna debate this. I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go. No, you tell me.
I just can't. We got to do the AMA.
No,
gotta do
no, we're doing it. We're breaking it down. We're breaking it down. We're breaking it down. You can't bring that shit to me and then tell me no. No,
Don't do this to me.
I'm gonna do it to you. I'm gonna do it to you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it to you frame by frame.
In my mind, it's obvious that Zed hates him,
And
and he doesn't. His performance is not good. But because K is so insistent on listen,
Okay,
this kid's a
yes.
tough kid. Like, yeah, he's got problems, but like, trust me. And then
yes.
Zed-
Okay. Yes.
yeah.
But,
Mm-hmm.
but, all of this is psychological. All of it is psychological. Going to the nondescript building, getting the elevator guy to send you down a place that you don't know, having the whole best of the best of the best, sir, or whatever. The whole thing is that the Men in Black aren't exclusively looking for warriors. They're looking for thinkers and for people who can, basically observe things that are not necessarily relevant. As a matter of fact, I would argue with you all day because that becomes relevant to the job later in the film, where he's
I would
dealing
argue
with
that
civilians.
arguably the point of maybe the film or a sub point of the film might be that, but everybody else in the entirety of the MIB organization is more like Zed, and almost nobody is, because that's almost like a running gag all the way through Men in Black 3, where Jay is kind of like
The
the
outside the
goofy
box
dude.
guy.
Exactly, yeah.
Sure.
So to say that like the Men in Black are looking for this guy, well then why is he the only one they found?
Well, he's not, because Kay just said that he was very similar. And then not just that, but hold on.
Kay did say it was similar, but clearly...
Hold on, I'm going to ask you,
What?
because there's frames here. Why did they bother showing all of the other applicants having issues taking the written test?
That was a director error. In the script, it says that all of them are doing really well, and Jay fails the written test horribly. So,
So hold
unfortunately,
on. So why do they have spherical chairs And why do they spend?
The director thought it'd be funny. He messed up. He fucked up a little there because the director did.
What? And that's not subtext. I'm not supposed to read that subtext.
You could read it that way, but unfortunately, the director just he made a mistake. He fucked up there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
So you're okay. So hold on. I'm gonna explain it to you because I hope you don't think I'm retarded after this answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way that I read it, the way that I understood it, is that the written test isn't necessarily the written test.
Oh, it's important.
It's a psychological exam.
No, it's not. It's a real written test.
Okay.
You don't think you need to know things?
We're gonna go with death of the author. Okay. I'm gonna go death of the author.
Good, even better.
Okay.
You got to know things.
So of course you have to know things, and he could have botched the written exam. I don't necessarily
Absolutely.
give a shit.
He did.
But at the same time, the way that it was written, the way that it is shown, it seems to imply that he is somebody. They're literally talking about him thinking outside of the box. They're actually talking about that almost verbatim within the scene, and on top of that, they back it up with video camera work.
Where do they talk about him? Okay, but at what point? Here's the thing. Here's the killer thing. Are you ready to get killed?
Yeah.
Here's the killer thing.
I'm not going to agree with this.
Why is it that after he moves the table, why is it that when he does anything, why does Zed never look at him and be like, why does Zed never look at him? He's like, good one. He's always just irritated and pissed off. He never shows any amount of like.
I actually thought that. No, hold on. If we go back,
oh my God, he's gonna.
if we go back to the shooting,
Oh God, he's gonna do it.
did you? I read into his smirk. I thought his smirk was fucking hilarious.
You're trolling me.
I'm not.
You're trolling me.
I'm not at all.
You're trolling me.
I'm not. This is a 6 or 9 on the ground, and I'm looking at a 6, and you're looking at a 9.
He's the smirk is a look of annoyance.
Okay.
He's like, this fucking kid.
Dude, you have more autism than I do.
Then why does he go immediately to the room with Kay and he's like, I hope you know what you're doing? Why would he say that if he has so much faith? He'd be like,
Because he has problems
why
with
did he?
authority.
Why didn't he say?
Because he has problems with authority.
Why
He's
didn't
a
he
fucking
say? Why didn't he
smartass.
say? Good pick, Kay. Why didn't he say? This kid's got a lot of promise. Why didn't he say? You found a diamond
Because he's
in the
still
rough.
doing stupid shit, and he's being a smartass, and he's mouthing off.
Whoa, what stupid shit? I thought you just said he was a fucking genius. I thought you just said that
No, I didn't say that he was a genius. I said that he was thinking outside the box, and on top of that, he was also he was making observations that were going on. As a matter of fact, hold on.
Wait,
I'm gonna own you. I'm gonna own you. You announced when you were gonna own me. I'm gonna own you.
What part
okay?
of that was a problem with
do you know
authority?
what- Do you know what a major trait in law enforcement is?
Yes.
It's like observation of details, observation of clues.
Okay.
So the fact that the marksmanship range, okay, the stress marksmanship range, the reason why you want that is because you want marksmen, right? You want people who are capable of shooting in a dangerous scenario or in a high stakes scenario, okay? But what Jay proved is that not only is he a marksman, because he shot little Lucy or Stacy or whatever right
Tiffany.
between the eyes, shot Tiffany right between the eyes, but he also noticed that under stress, he doesn't freak out, he doesn't mag dump, and he also is completely observant of his surroundings, and he picked up on details that none of the other people picked up on.
And then why is it that nobody else? I just realized something about him.
Mm-hmm.
Why did anybody question that they were shooting at fucking aliens?
Right.
Okay. No, but why is it then that Zed wasn't impressed by that? Why didn't he say anything to Jay?
Maybe he was. Maybe he's
Okay.
very stoic.
So what happened to? I'm just reading into what's on the screen.
There's other things on the screen that I was pointing to.
Yeah, but none of it showed Kay being impressed. None of it showed Zed being impressed. No, neither of them. Every time
Kay?
every time the camera cut to Kay, he was like, fuck, I look like a fucking ass right now.
Dude, do you want to watch it again? We could watch it again. I'll pause exactly where I'm at. So hold on, but this is what you're doing. This is what I'm assuming happened. You read what? You watched. Pause. Because I can recall what we're looking at.
Oh, good.
But
I
what
can
you're
recall
saying,
too.
But you're saying that you read the script and you watched.
Well, I had to afterwards to fight with you nerds who don't.
And then you watch the extras, and then the extra said the director is like, "Yeah, we had no intentions for it to be a psychological exam whatsoever. We just thought it would be funny."
Wait, you didn't watch me watch it, did you?
No.
Oh, yeah. He said basically that they found a table and he thought it'd be funny if you dragged it across.
And he said that had nothing to do with like insight, intelligence, anything like that. It was just supposed to be funny.
He might have ad-libbed that afterwards for.
Hold on, no, don't fuck with me.
He might have ad-libbed it a little bit.
Don't fuck with me.
He might have ad-libbed it a little bit.
Ad-libbed it a little bit. What does ad-libbed a little bit
As
mean?
in, like, I could tell he's trying to fill dead air on the commentary, the director track.
So you're saying the director,
Yeah.
who you are claiming sides with
Misspeak.
you,
Yeah.
said what I said But you're
Barely.
saying that he ad-libbed it.
He ad-libbed it, but the
You
script.
psychoanalyzed a director in his own commentary who agrees
What
with
can I
me,
say?
but you're ignoring that piece of evidence
I gotta
in
go
order to
by
agree
what's-
with my theory.
I got to go by what's on the screen. I got to go by what's on the screen. I'm sorry, I got to go by what's on the screen.
You can't bullshit me
I
into
gotta
your
go by.
position
I gotta
when
go.
the director
Look at
says
these
what
guys.
I
Everybody's
said.
like, "Fuck, this guy's retarded." Look at Will in the background. He's standing there like he actually
and why
has
didn't they get
autism.
picked?
What?
Why didn't they get picked?
I'm glad you asked. Why
Yeah.
didn't they get picked?
Well, hold on.
No.
Why didn't they get picked?
Yeah, why didn't they get
Because
picked?
they think within the box too much.
Really?
Yes.
It didn't have to do with Kay literally begging Zed on his knees, like, "Oh, please,
That's
oh,
not on.
Please.
I already recall
Obama's
that
coming.
didn't
We
happen.
have DI numbers,
that
affirmative
didn't
action.
happen.
We have to have
He's
one
saying
black
he's a
fucking
loose
agent.
cannon.
He literally said.
He's a loose
he said,
cannon.
"Come on." He's
a
like,
wild
he's
character.
like,
Oh, get
he
the
chased
fuck
him
outta
down
here.
on foot. That's got to count for something.
Yeah. Have you ever chased a cephalopod down on?
No,
foot?
but I bet the fucking.
Neither have
I bet the
motherfucker.
military 7-star general guys could chase him down on, but they could probably run fast.
That's probably the one thing they could do, by the way.
Well, no.
Well, so hold on.
Wait.
Wait. Let me know when you're ready.
Wait, I'm not ready. Watch him. Wait. Watch him.
Yeah, go back to after
No.
the headshot.
Watch.
Go back to after the headshot.
No, wait. Hold on. Watch him. Okay, so Connor's like.
Nice shot, though.
Connor's like. Yeah, notice how he's saying that he's like convincing himself and the other guy. He's like,
That was a good shot, though.
It was a good shot, though.
and they're like,
It was right between the fucking eyeballs. They're
yeah,
pussies.
she was a little girl standing, not even moving.
And she had quantum physics books, and this is a thing in
But
which
it was
skinwalkers exist.
It was a non-moving target.
and they're skinwalkers.
Look at everybody else is moving around and everything.
Yeah.
So of course it was an easy shot. She's stationary, and he assassinates her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he kills a little white
single
girl.
shot, Steve.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the footage from today to get played back.
Look, watch these guys. Look at these guys. They're rolling around on the ground. Look at this dude.
Yeah, which is also dumb as shit.
It's not. It's tactical. Look at him. Whoa, look at him. Boom, boom, boom.
and
Look,
he's observing.
That guy's moving. That guy's moving.
I love how the director agrees with me too.
No,
You're
look, he's
ignoring what
moving.
the
Look at him moving
director
around.
said.
They're making nice shots. You don't give them any credit.
Yeah.
And then, wow, watch. Wow, the one.
Wait, so hold on. Then on top of that, if they know that they're all expert marksmen, why are they even testing them?
Because it's just to make sure you know how to handle a firearm.
You think the MIB needs to waste time finding out whether or not you know how to handle a firearm?
I'm sorry, half the movie is these guys shooting an alien, so I think it's pretty important, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't think that they would have like all the like 20 years or 10 years of marksmanship qualifications from their resumes before they even show up?
You
to
don't
the
think they could
range?
give them a Google engineer leet code test to figure out if they could think laterally?
Yeah, they could, but they did live.
That they did the shooting live. Can't fake that.
All right, hold on.
Okay, but okay.
So hold up.
Wait,
No,
yeah.
no.
Wait,
Go back to
that.
Ripthorn.
We'll get back to that.
Go to Ripthorn.
No, we'll get back to that. Remember, Connor said, "Why do you think they picked him?"
Well, and not just that. You said.
Wow, look at how impressed. Look at how impressed he looks right now. He's like, "Wow, my boy is doing a great job."
stoic.
Look at how impressed he is.
He's stoic. And then on top of that, dude, fuck this. You're like, oh yeah, and Tommy Lee Jones was on his hands and knees blowing Zed, begging for Will Smith.
Yeah, we're gonna watch right now.
Yeah,
You
bullshit.
said. Why did he get in? Okay. So
All right,
here's.
hold on. We're gonna go back to something.
We
at the
will.
very beginning, too.
He said.
He's got a real problem with authority.
First thing, something negative, and then he says,
So do I.
Pause.
"Yeah,
Who is K in the organization?
an agent."
Just an agent? Or is he one of the best goddamn agents they
He's a
have?
decent agent, but why does he say that?
Why does he have a problem with authority?
No. Why
Because
did he say?
doesn't like
Why
it-
did he say? So do I.
Because he's saying, I'm a good agent. Having a problem with authority is not the thing that we should be evaluating him.
Exactly. He's saying, despite his problem with authority, negative trait, I have problems with authority.
It's a spectrum.
No, it's a bad trait. But he's saying,
Bullshit.
so what do you mean? Why? Like, he's saying he's got a problem with authority. Like, if you were to say he did the fastest shooting time, you wouldn't go, I have the fastest shooting time. No, that's retarded. He would say he's got a big problem with authority. You go, I have a problem with authority, and I'm good too, right? Even though I have a problem. So he's bringing that up in defense. So he says, we're like each other. I've got a problem with authority. Okay, now watch. He's like,
Yeah, and he's crying and he's blowing him. And is that coming
yeah,
out
look at how
next?
mad he is. He's like,
Yeah, he's seething.
he's seething because this guy just,
Look at Tommy Lee Jones.
because he
he's
fucked the
seething.
test up. He fucked it up. Now watch him. Now he's like,
Bullshit.
But this kid ran down a cephalopoid.
he ran him down. These guys didn't have a chance to run down a cephalopoid,
Yeah,
did
'cause
they?
they're fucking pussies. Anyways, so
Wait, now let's finish this. Hold on.
Foot, boss, that's got to be tough.
That's gotta be tough enough, please. Gotta be tough enough.
yeah, I feel like you're reading in your own.
No, it's gotta be. Now watch Zed. He's like,
Let's hope you know what you're doing.
Why would he say that? Let's hope you know what you're doing. To a star candidate, let's hope you know what you're doing. Do you think the guy... Do you think
He's not a fucking star candidate. He's got a problem with authority.
Do you think the guy who recommended LeBron James was like... And then the guy who's talking was like, let's hope you know what you're doing with this LeBron kid. You think the guy said
Because
that?
that's not the only qualitative measure that you should have for a candidate.
You think the guy with Jordan was like... He's got a real problem with threes.
Hold on.
Like,
number one,
Dwayne had problems with
I
threes.
seriously think you have autism. So number one, you're saying that. So hold on. You're saying what is the criteria?
Floundering.
No, I'm not. I'm not even
Criteria?
close.
What, like the game?
Criteria. I'm gonna steal your shoe and smack you with it. You're live right now, bitch.
Also, real quick, there's a forced perspective. So it looks like he's like 6'5" or whatever. We're about the same height. It's just the camera's like on the ground and like shooting us like Lord of the Rings. But go ahead.
Definitely. He's just helping me out with the size. So anyways, the criteria on which he's being evaluated. Let me hear it in your own words. What criteria do you think that got him in? Do you think it's chasing down a cephalopoid?
I think it's Kay's obsession with him as a young black man.
You think that somebody wrote that?
Yes.
That they were like, we're going to have a paternal white figure who's going to be like borderline homosexually obsessed with Will Smith, and that's why he's going to get the job.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put this... I'm going to...
How does Men in Black start?
So, hold on.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Run. The beginning of the movie?
I'm not running. No, let's run to the beginning of the evaluation scene.
Let's go.
Why were they there?
Well, Kay gave Jay a card and said... Why was who where?
Nope.
Oh my God. You're going to say all the military guys were there to test Jay?
No.
Okay.
When Zed asks, says, you're here because you're the best of the best of the best, sir.
Yes.
And then he says, fucking Captain America over here doesn't know why we're here.
Yeah.
Why were they there?
To test.
Did they know why they were there?
They were testing for some elite government unit. They probably weren't told exactly what it was.
Okay, testing for an elite government unit.
Yes.
But at the same time, that's not the question that Jay was asking, was it?
No.
No, he wanted more details. He wanted more specific shit, right?
Yeah, because he's nosy.
Do you want law enforcement officers to be nosy?
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Our classified information...
The Fourth Amendment doesn't apply to fucking extraterrestrials.
Our classified information is compartmentalized for a reason.
You know you're blown the fuck out.
Do you think every single MIB agent has access to all of the MIB files?
Oh my God. Okay, listen. For the sake.
Yeah, go ahead and put on the troll face. Like
no, I will not put on a troll face. I think you're fucking wrong. No, and what's funny is that even in this conversation, you admitted.
Please.
Oh, okay, hold on. Here, by your own criteria, it logically doesn't even. Okay, so but you just said all of the military guys could chase down a cephalopod.
No, they couldn't.
So why could they not?
Because part of...
You literally said that 30 seconds ago in this fucking debate. What the fuck are you talking about?
I was testing your response and you failed my...
Yeah, okay, definitely.
Jay chased him down not due to just his physical prowess, but also to a combination of his ingenuity and his creativity, which is why Kay picked him.
Have I not said that over the past fucking 20 goddamn minutes that that's why he's getting picked as an agent?
Oh, that is why he's getting picked. Because Kay wants him, not because of Zed and not because of MIB, but because of Kay. QED.
Wait, so what do we disagree on again?
He failed the test. Zed doesn't like him. The only reason he's in is because Kay is vouching for him, because Kay is a little bit of an outside-the-box thinker, and he needs a new partner, and he likes this guy because he's also an outside-of-the-box thinker.
So we agree on the virtues for which he's being recruited, but we don't agree on the test setting.
Yes, because all of them MIB, it's like a joke, a running joke. Like everybody in chat is like, oh, these guys are all stuck-up government people. Everybody in MIB is a stuck-up government person. They all act like that. All of them do.
Yeah, because they're going to recruit from those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me think about what you said, and let me think about the actual differences in our perspective.
Okay, think about it.
I am not going to concede because I want to hear what the fucking director says about that scene.
Okay.
Because
we can do the director, but we also have to read the script as well.
Because the way that it's played in that fucking scene is that it's a psych test. That's the way it's played.
A psych test for who?
For everybody in that room.
And they all failed by not dragging the table over? Okay.
Yeah, because hold on. Let me explain this. Do not go on a rant. I'm going to explain this. Military guys are often obsessed with decorum and procedure.
Which MIB is.
Okay. I'm not even going to concede that because we already have K.
They literally, this is the last suit you'll ever wear. They're all about decorum and procedure, but go ahead.
Okay. So
It is canon.
military guys, well, even if I was to grant you that they have a high level of decorum and procedure, they're still dealing with threats that are far outside the box, just through nature of dealing with extraterrestrials with like varied physiology and psychology at all times. So thinking outside the box is going to be a key virtue and trait that they're looking for as an organization. And so if they're looking for people and all those people are afraid to do something down and dirty because they're afraid of being perceived as unintelligent or not having the proper decorum or not having outside the box or having too outside the box thinking, they're not good material for an MIB agent.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you sure you want? Because
You're making a presumption that the rest of MIB is stuck up its own ass.
Oh my God, I'm about to blow you the fuck out. Sorry, ready?
Yeah.
Is there a single other example besides J&K of any MIB person thinking outside the box ever?
Well, I mean, in the cartoon series. Because they recruited
the movie Men in Black 1.
The female. The morgue assistant. She's not MIB, but she becomes MIB.
She's not MIB.
She becomes MIB.
She's not MIB.
She becomes MIB. Why did she become MIB? Destiny.
Probably because they're changing the organization.
Oh,
changing
shut the
something
fuck
different.
up.
What
This
you
is
just said, the three
progressive narrative.
Exactly.
It's a progressive narrative.
Exactly.
About
The three
reforming,
people who are all outsiders are literally outsiders. Definitionally, they're all outside the outside, outside the inside.
I refuse.
Guess what? You know what? You know what I just realized? You know what I realized? You know why I realized that?
What?
What are they looking for the entire fucking time that nobody can figure out what it is? What are they looking for?
What?
What did the Archelians want that they were ready to blow the Earth up?
The galaxy within a jewel?
The galaxy. And where was the galaxy?
In a jewel around the cat's neck?
On Orion's belt.
Yeah.
And they're all like...
And they were only able to discover it through
guys,
thinking outside the box?
Yes, but
because J and K are just that much better, bro.
Orion's belt is...
But they're just that much better, bro.
Is a constellation.
Yeah.
And all the MIB guys are like, oh, it's only 3 stars. That's retarded. Everybody's like... And it wasn't until they found the cat... And then the only 3 crazy
That's just to show how good J and K are, bro.
Yeah, but it's to also show how stuck in the past and in their old ways the MIB org.
I refuse. I refuse your line of logic. I
okay,
refuse
well, you know. All right, this is the cucked director's track. We'll listen to this for a little bit.
Yeah, let's listen to the cuck director.
5.
Somebody link me also. I need the script as well. We're gonna go read the
fuck.
script.
We're really digging in on this.
Well, no,
because
because we need a counterpoint to this stupid. Because this is fucking beyond stupid.
No, it's not. We're arguing about interpretation of a film. And by the way, I've given you plenty of evidence of my perspective, so don't act like I have an unintelligent read on the movie. Particularly when probably 80% of the fucking population agrees with me. You have this contrarian bullshit.
All of your evidence is my evidence, but okay, let's go.
Right.
One time. He played Big Daddy. You know, he actually understudied the part of Brick in the original Broadway production. And New Tennessee Williams. He's
and this is the director.
The theater.
This is Tommy Lee Jones, I think.
Okay. I love these chairs, these little awkward egg chairs.
Yeah, the awkward egg chairs.
I think that's
what happened was when Bo Welsh showed me these chairs, which are sort of similar to the ones designed by Saarinen, who's a famous Finnish architect. Bo wanted circles everywhere to represent flying saucers, you know, like all the circles in the ceiling, and he showed me these egg chairs, and as soon as I saw the egg chairs, I decided to rewrite the scene to make the...
Pause.
Look at that. I saw chairs I liked, I rewrote the script.
Pause.
That's why I'm going to say ad-libbed. He added
Pause.
this.
Rewriting is ad-libbing? Are you shitting my balls?
Like, listen to this guy. He's like, you have
the first treatment, and we're on like the 5th treatment, and you're saying that the 5th treatment is not accurate because the first treatment exists? Are you fucking high?
I'm sorry. When you...
What does rewriting mean, Steven?
Treatment is when you add chlorine to the water in the pool.
Oh my God.
He's pissing in the pool right now. You wouldn't call that the 2nd or 3rd or 4th treatment.
Let him continue.
The director saw
Let him continue. I don't fucking believe you.
chair he liked,
I don't
and you're
believe
like,
you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Give me
I want to listen to. I want to listen to the director.
I don't. Okay, so he just said, I thought chair. Okay, and then we're in the next part.
Yeah, let's listen.
About who would be smart enough to get a table.
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah, because he after.
Oh, fuck off!
Exactly. This is my argument.
The director?
Yes.
The director came up with exactly my fucking read.
Why did he rewrite it though? I thought Chad Lake. That was the reason given.
So hold on. Let's see if he says why. Let's see if he
just
says
did.
why.
Because notice he didn't say, I was trying to think of ways to demonstrate Jay's creativity and cleverness, and then I came up with this great idea. He said,
That guy, I thought chair, and I like a circle chair, and then I rewrote to have a circle chair. That's what he said.
Do you think within the creative process it's a straight line?
No.
Are you high?
I think
is this studio not something that you've been slamming your dick into for years?
The guy's
Did you
retarded.
have the perfect
He's
studio
retarded.
during the first treatment, metaphorically speaking?
But I didn't come in and say like, I saw wood and I want to remake a studio.
No.
It was
You
intentional
smashed-
from start
you
to finish.
No,
Intentional.
No, bullshit.
Intentional.
You smashed everyone involved in this project, by the way, and this is not a personal attack, but you smashed your dick into a wall for years until you got to the
don't know what
perfect
you
thing.
meant by
And
smashed
so, by the
everyone.
way, that's what he's doing in the creative process, because creativity is not a straight line. You bump into a challenge, and then you also find out a new way to express something that's very interesting. Because you know what's interesting about film? It's not just a written piece of art, it's a multifaceted piece of art. As a matter of fact, the reason why film is actually interesting in the first place is through visual storytelling. So what did he do? He did visual storytelling.
Listen to the visual. Hold on.
When Bo Welsh showed me these chairs, which are sort of similar to the ones designed by Saarinen, who's a famous Finnish architect, Bo wanted circles everywhere to represent flying saucers, you know, like all the circles in the ceiling, and he showed me these egg chairs. And as soon as I saw the egg chairs, I decided to rewrite the scene.
I thought a chair.
Keep playing. Shut the fuck up and keep playing.
I need to write him.
To make the test about who would be smart enough to get a table. So when I saw the chairs, I said, you know what, Bo? Give me a big, heavy table. And instead of the test being an actual test, the test is only which one of these guys is a different kind of thinker that would think, you know what, this isn't about a test, this is about I need a table to write on. Eric Brevig, who was a visual effects coordinator, shot a lot of the inserts and additions.
Do they talk about the firing range?
Oh, they do. You're gonna like that one even more.
Okay,
Hold
good.
on, here we go.
I love what Will's doing with the pencil, putting it back together again.
Listen to this guy. I'd like you to put the pencil back together again. This is your guy, by the way. Okay, still going. Sorry.
He's a multi-million-dollar fucking Hollywood director. Why are you shitting on him? Why are
He
you
spent it
talking
all
like
on
a
crack
fucking...
cocaine? He's broke now.
And there's plenty of... Don't you love Hunter Biden? Isn't he another virtuoso that you guys love in the Democratic Party?
Not as a director, except for his own films I really like. But
Right on the page, this scene wasn't very interesting.
Is this the firearms?
And on the screen, it is.
It's one of those things also where the longer it goes on, the funnier it is, but you have to sort of figure out just, you know, how long is long enough. And here we had Skip Leavesay, who did the sound effects, create a horrible screeching, scraping sound for this. See, you already know he's your guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're laughing. He's literally saying the opposite of what you've claimed.
because it comes after the chair like egg UFO. I want to make a chair egg UFO. It's okay. We're going. Okay, well, I told you.
He literally says that he's agreeing
link
with
the
me.
script. I need the script in chat next, guys.
The director?
I need the script in chat next, guys.
Why the fuck would the script matter?
You'll see. Hold on.
Deployed on foot.
Oh, yeah.
This is a scene that I didn't think was going to work, and in fact, when I was having our first preview up in San Jose, I told all the Sony executives that I had left the scene in just so that they could see how it wouldn't play with an audience, but that I was going to cut it out of the movie. But I just...
He didn't even want to have the fucking scene in.
Well, maybe because it doesn't work in the way that you're describing it. Let him
Because
talk.
he realized it was contradictory to his stupid egg chair idea. He was like, fuck, this is retarded now.
Let me talk.
Okay.
Or let him talk.
to see. And of course, we have the scene, and it gets huge laughs. And
yeah, I remember you.
Make him laugh.
You never liked this scene.
No.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany?
Although Tiffany,
I fucking love this scene.
8-year-old white girl, is pretty funny.
Funny joke.
Well, first I was going to pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, you know, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come
It was an annoying set to shoot on. It took days. There was smoke. There were effects. There was strobe lights. I let a lot of it be done by second unit because I just felt it was going to be an annoying scene to shoot. Rip's pretty funny there.
This time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I'd say she's up to something. And to be honest, I'd appreciate it if you eased up off my back about it.
And Will ad-libbed a bunch of this stuff.
Or do I owe her an apology?
That was a good shot, though, right?
That's a monumental shot.
Yeah. I worked really hard on that.
But this kid ran down a cephalopoid on foot, boss. That's got to be tough enough.
Hey, look, there are like 4 of us. Well, 2 of you, me and Rip. I love this next scene coming up. That was actually probably, this next scene probably was a scene we did more take.
And that's it. He didn't have anything to say.
So
Look at how your argument
the character, or
your
excuse me,
argument
the
is
director's
your argument
retarded,
is,
even though he said what I said.
Your argument is, I'm gonna go with the director's like, I saw the egg chair and I want to be like a flying saucer, and then you're like, well, with Tiffany, he gives all the arguments, and it actually was really, and the guy's like, yeah, this scene sucks shit, and I kind of didn't even like it. I wanted to remove it, but anyway, that's where
yeah.
you're
And what was hold on, Steven. I'm gonna see
link
if
the
you can
script.
track
Give me the
arguments.
script. Give me the script. Give me the script.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if you can track arguments. Why did he hate that scene?
Because he was like. He hated
Let's
it.
see if you can be honest.
I'll
Why
be
did
honest.
he hate the saying?
Honestly, because there probably weren't enough circle-shaped things. So he's like, I didn't have any UFO-shaped aliens.
That's
so
not an
I
honest
didn't.
answer. Give me the honest answer. Tell me the answer that he gave us.
I think
This is like where you read a fucking essay and then you see if you can regurgitate what was actually in the essay.
You're testing
so
if I can
what was in the fucking
regurgitate?
essay? Yeah, you try to test me on this fucking scene. How about I test you on what we just heard?
He said he didn't enjoy the scene because he didn't think the scene would play very well. He thought that the scene was incredibly difficult to shoot. He said that it took them multiple days. It sounded like it was difficult to dial in the cameras because there were strobe lights, there was smoke, it was exhausting, and he thought at the end it wouldn't matter. He even had the second team shoot it, but he let it stay in for Sony so that they could play it for the audience.
Did he say it because the scene was fucking retarded, or did he say that it was a technical pain in the ass?
Yeah, but it wasn't like.
Which one did he
say? He didn't say. I'm sorry.
Which one did he say, Steven?
No, you're right. He said.
Steven, which one did he say?
He said, this scene was so difficult, but it was so worth it at the end because the message that I wanted to convey with the scene was so important, and I'm so glad that we tried so fucking hard.
Dude, there's a massive spectrum in fucking creative endeavor between
You're on
these
the
two fucking
spectrum.
things,
It is
and you're
massive.
acting like it's a fucking binary. No, I'm not on the spectrum. You're on the spectrum. As a matter of fact, I almost guarantee you 70 to 80% of the fucking audience agrees with me, and the fucking director of the goddamn film agrees with me.
Give me the script, guys. Give me the script.
Even if you get the script, it doesn't make the point that you think it's going to make. No, it doesn't.
It
because
does
if he
because he
says,
followed-
I have a script, and then I rewrote it because I saw something visual within the scene that allowed me to communicate the message I was trying to communicate, then that means he's still trying to communicate that fucking message,
But he
Steven.
didn't say that. He said
that.
If he would have said, I was searching
Dude,
for a
I
way.
swear to God, you are like gaslighting me.
If he would have
actually
said,
in this thing,
if he would have said, I was.
You're
looking-
gaslighting
If he
me.
was looking for a way, if he said,
You're gaslighting
I was looking for a way to demonstrate Jay's ingenuity. Then I would have agreed it. But instead he said,
No,
I
this is
saw
the
the
test.
egg chair, and I want you to have the egg chair.
Steven, Men in Black is not the test. This is the test.
Link
You're
to the
trying to
script
see if
or
you
I'm
can
banning
fucking,
all of you.
You can try to see if you fucking gaslight me into believing your perspective, and I can't. I can't, and I won't. I refuse.
Okay, watch this.
That's the real test.
Look.
You're acting like you're making a fucking point. You're not making a
Control
point.
F. Fucking.
Oh, in the original treatment, it was it
Original.
didn't
Why
say
you
anything
saying-
about eggshells. It didn't say anything about eggshells.
This is the script that went live. This was the script that the movie used.
It was a script that went live.
Can you read this?
Before he
I don't have
rewrote
my
it.
glasses on. Can you read this?
Well, I'm blind as fuck, so. All right. I will read it, though. I love it, my reading voice. If you like my voice, you should come check out my channels. Zoom out? No, that's fine. That's fine. The recruits scribble away at the written test. It's a thick document, reasoning skills, general knowledge, diagrams. The recruits seem to be really powering through it, filling in answer after answer. But no desks have been provided for them, and they're all still in their chairs, writing uncomfortably on their thighs or knee. Edwards is really struggling. He writes 2 words on one answer, then decides to erase it. The lack of a writing surface. Holy
it.
shit! Get the fuck out of here!
He failed.
Let me read it!
He sucks.
Let me read it!
He failed.
Let me read it, you gaslighting son of a bitch!
Okay, go ahead.
Holy shit. But no, Edwards is really struggling. He writes 2 words on one answer, then decides to erase it. The lack of a writing surface is driving him crazy. His pencil even tears through the page. He looks up in the middle of the tie floor. There's an unused table. Edward gets up, goes to it, grabs hold, and drags it screeching definitely back to his chair. Everybody looks up, wincing at the horrible sound that fills the room. Edward sits back, now writing on the table. That's better. Zed raises an eyebrow. He stares at Edwards, then looks up towards a smoke glass window. Behind the dark glasses, a figure stands staring unemotional. Was he staring disapprovingly? Was he crying and trying to blow Zed?
unemotional
in
'cause
order
he
to get
knows.
Jay?
He's
in order to
stoic.
do it?
He's stoic. That's what you said. He's stoic.
This
He said
was-
that earlier.
you're
He
trying
said
to
he's
fucking-
stoic.
Yeah, no shit. The fucking director agrees with me, you lying piece of shit.
What is this? He sucks.
Edward is really struggling.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Look at these guys. What are the recruits doing?
Are you trying to lie to my fucking face right now? Is that what you're
Recruits seem
doing?
to be powering through
Dude,
it.
you've been gaslighting me for 20 fucking minutes.
Filling in answer after answer.
Yeah?
He sucks.
No, he doesn't. They rewrote it as a psych exam. And guess what? It's even in the original fucking script. And there's none of that bullshit.
No, there wasn't in there.
Hold on. Earlier, you said that fucking K sobs, tears, crawls on his knees in order to blow Zed to get Jay through the program. Can you show me in the script where that is? You can't.
Wait, yes. Hold on.
Yeah. Sobbing, tearful, Tommy Lee Jones begs to slob on Rick Thorne's member.
So do I. The guy ran down a cephalozoid and said,
right,
on foot, tenacity.
I'm ready to move
that I
on.
can use.
I have enough autism that I can fight you about this for the next 2 fucking hours
Well,
if you want to.
You're going to have to find some new material because the director admitted that he was retarded. The scene fully backs what I'm saying. And the script also seems to be back what I'm saying, so.
Yeah, you're claiming victory on that one. Are you testing DGG? Are you trying to see if they'll just follow you down this one?
I know I'm correct, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think he's I think he's gaslighting all of us.
I'm not gaslighting you.
It feels like gaslighting like a motherfucker.
Okay. Hold on.
All right. All right. While he's pulling shit up.
I'm not pulling anything up. I'm doing the AMA questions.
Counterpoints 40K if you want science fiction Warhammer breakdowns. Counterpoints politics if you want debate reviews and breakdowns. And then Valor Media Network if I'm live 25 hours a week, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
If five
either
aliens,
on Counterpoints or Valor Media Network.
If 5 aliens could sneak into planet Earth in the Men in Black 1 universe from the Warhammer 40K franchise, what would the worst race be and why?
It'd all be gene stealers, 100%.
Because they would pump all the other humans full of
they're ovipositors and infect them with genetic material. And then what's crazy is they have mutant babies that are like half gene stealer, half human. But then over 5 generations, they stabilize and then they infect the entire planet and then they take over the entire planet. And then a giant tyrannid hive swarm comes in and they consume the entire planet.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Wait, one more important question.
They're basically Zerg.
The Men in Black thing was about a 10% troll. This is a serious question, okay?
Holy fuck.
Do you like the alien?
I don't know if I'm ready.
Do you like the Alien franchise?
The like aliens, so on and so forth?
What the fuck else would the Alien franchise refer to?
I don't know. Maybe there's another one. You talking about Ripley?
Yeah.
Okay.
From on Spike TV, Ripley's Believe It or Not, yeah.
Alien?
Phenomenal. Okay, wait. There's a movie. I'm just curious. Actually, finish that thought. I'm curious where you're going with that. I know what you're gonna say, but
Alien, phenomenal horror film. I don't even like horror films. Aliens, to me, one of the best action horror films ever produced.
Okay.
Rest of it's pretty much trash.
Okay.
I like it. I'll watch it, but I don't think it's as thematically coherent.
Okay, that's fine. That's a pretty normie accessible Redditor take, so I get it.
What, you love Prometheus?
No.
You love Covenant?
No.
Do you like the new one?
I think that Alien 3 gets too much hate.
It probably does.
Well, why did you just hate it?
Because I don't like the narrative. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Alien 3 the Marines die and they get marooned in the prison?
The Marines die and they get marooned in the prison. Ripley's ship gets intercepted she is in a prison world, yes.
But
and then the two
Newt
and the guy get killed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I think the reason why everybody hates that movie is because number one, there's no weapons. Or the weapons are all like improvised. And then number two, they killed 2 wildly popular characters. And it was off screen.
That's life.
I agree. And maybe that's why Aliens 3 caught too much hate. But I'm just saying, like, for me, that would feel like a step back as well.
I mean, there's nothing to do with them. What were you going to do with them? Like, oh, here's Alien 3.
I wouldn't even.
All of them buy a house on Earth and they live. And this is how they deal with modern life.
I would have ended that narrative. I would have started completely with new characters.
No, she needed to die. That was the.
Yeah, but then they brought her back for 4, and 4 sucked.
Well, that was
and Covenant sucked.
Yes, true.
And Prometheus and the other one.
That's close enough. Okay, you're close enough. Okay.
All right.
What
M41 pulse rifle is fucking sick.
True.
Yeah. I want to build one.
Why haven't you yet?
Because I need a financier. I'm gonna take an AR. I'm gonna take a 9mm AR-15. I'm gonna 3D print an exterior for it. I'm gonna clamp it on. I'm gonna do a triangular handguard, and then I'm gonna fucking make an M41 pulse rifle out of an AR, so I can make it cheap and accessible.
What's
for
the most
masses.
important thing about the rifle, though?
That it's what 10mm and that's caseless ammunition. I can't afford caseless ammunition. Can you?
No, but obviously one of the coolest things, one of the most
underbarrel 12 gauge
one
shotgun.
of the most distinguishing things is the sound effect of the guns in that movie are like very specific.
I don't know if I'll be able to replicate that.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay.
Okay.
What is caseless ammunition?
The powder. So instead of having they've tested it, they can make it. It's just not as good as cased ammunition. Case, they have like a brass jacket for the gunpowder. With caseless, the powder itself is almost turned into a solid, and so you don't have a case that needs to eject. So by the time that the bullet leaves the barrel, all the powder is burnt.
Okay.
It's pretty sweet. There's a I forget what it's called, but it's like an HK G11 or something like that, and it fires, I think, 4-round burst caseless ammunition.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I think so. I don't know, man. That Men in Black sequence was pretty intense.
Shut up. Are these questions sorted? Wait, hold on.
Oh.
What? Exclusively sorts by new? No. Ugh, I can't. I don't have the option to sort it my way. Hold on.
Give August a nice little highlight reel while we're fighting about fucking MIB.
Did you think that? Did you like Men in Black 2?
To be honest, I think I skipped it.
And you've watched Men in Black 1,000 times?
Yeah.
You must really like those egg-shaped chairs too, huh?
Yeah. Dude, Will Smith was the fucking shit in the late 90s.
True.
So, Independence Day, I had them on VHS. So, Men in Black and Independence Day, I probably watched those like a billion times. I'm actually really sad that Will Smith has, you know, his and Jada's relationship didn't work out. Makes me sad.
They're still working on it, right?
She doesn't seem like a nice lady.
Why not?
I don't know, because she banged her son's best friend and then talked about it on live TV with Will Smith and made him cry in front of a few million people. I think that's pretty fucked up.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Kind of remind me of iDubbbz and I'm just kidding. That was stupid. That was a dumb comment. I'm just kidding.
Are you though?
Yeah, he had a crazy run for a while. I feel like all within like a decade, I think we got like Men in Black, Pursuit of Happiness,
which was huge.
Hitch.
Yep, and the vampire movie.
I don't remember the vampire.
I Am Legend.
Oh wait, we did. And I, Robot.
I, Robot.
Wild Wild West was in there.
I liked Wild Wild West. It was terrible, but it was really like it was really
okay.
creative and it was fun.
It was okay.
Yeah. Dude, steampunk razor discs flying through the cornfields, like slicing off peoples who are traitors to the Confederacy's heads. That was a sick
Hancock
movie concept. Hancock was mid as hell. I liked it. I liked the premise a lot, but the end where like him and Charlize Theron are like angels and shit, and they have to stay separate so she can stay married to her husband. I thought that was lame.
True.
I don't know why God would make angels that couldn't hang out with each other. That doesn't really make sense to me.
Oh, Bad Boys 1.
Bad Boys 1 was fire. Bad Boys 2 was fire.
I never watched Bad Boys 2. I got too scared.
Bad Boys 2 was actually like, it was one of the peak of, what's that director who loves special effects, but he sucks at plot?
Christopher Nolan.
No, Transformers guy.
Abrams?
Michael Bay.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Dude, that was like peak Bay. Yeah, that was fire.
Okay, wait. Sorry. Did you ever watch Men in Black 2? Or no, I'm sorry. Independence Day 2?
No.
Okay.
I was sad. The whole thing that was interesting about Independence Day 1 was conventional American military going against aliens. So when they aliened all of the conventional military stuff, I just wasn't as interested. Also, it felt like in the trailer, they were just trying to rehash all the characters and be like, do you remember? Do you remember when we did this? And they just did that over and over again during the trailer. And I was like, I do remember when you did that. And you probably did it better the first time. So I'm going to skip the second time.
Important one. Wait, did you ever see like 21 or 22 Jump Street or any of those movies?
I saw the new ones with come on, help me out, fat guy.
Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill. God, Jonah Hill was good. My name is Jeff. Oh, dude, also like the woke high school kids where they walk in and they're bullying the fuck out of a bunch of Zoomers, but then the Zoomers end up being like super woke. Oh God, that was actually hysterical.
When Jonah Hill banged the guy's daughter.
What, Ice-T's? Oh, yeah, it's not Ice-T, it's Ice Cube. I think it's Ice Cube.
It was a good movie. Okay, sorry. Okay, ready?
Yes. There's something that's...
You're rubbing against the table.
I should probably stop doing that.
No, it's okay. Just destroy my shit.
Okay.
Okay. We see conservatives constantly harassing conservatives who disagree with Trump. How do you stay principled when pressured as much by your own side? Additionally, what is your number one issue keeping you against Trump? This is a question for you.
I just take my licks, you know. Sorry, can I scooch just a little bit?
Why don't you scooch your chair forward? Oh no, yeah, just scoot that back. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, cool. Fuck up your set. Yeah. How do I take the heat? I just get my dick kicked in every single day. Just people calling me a fucking traitor and a piece of shit, and I should be worshiping Daddy Trump and all that kind of shit. I just deal with it.
I don't think there are like any you're like a never Trump Republican for like a month and then you disappear. That's what it feels like. Like
in what regard?
Like all the politicians get, if you're a never Trump Republican, you just get like kicked out of the party, it feels like.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
And then I don't know if there are any conservative media outlets that are like
Bulwark is the only thing that's left, and they all started voting Democrats, and then they started. Here's my problem with Bulwark, and I'm not trying to be mean to them or anything, but they just started being like, oh yeah, Democrats are good actually, and it's like, no, you can still have criticisms of the Democratic Party while also, you know, holding on to some conservatarian values. There's a second part of that question, though.
What's your number one issue keeping you against Trump?
Oh, it's just all the people he's fucking killed through incompetence. It's actually competence. Competence is like the number one issue. Because if you look at it, feel free to fact check me. If you want to DM me things, go ahead. But effectively, what I understand is that through cutting the AIDS packages to Ukraine, we've screwed over Ukraine, and thousands of civilians in Ukraine have died as a result. We've stopped sharing intel, all that kind of stuff. And then also when it comes to PEPFAR, which I don't understand how nobody is freaking out about it, but PEPFAR was a program started in 2003 by George W. Bush, and it provided $6.5 billion in aid. It's almost nothing of the federal budget. It's estimated to have saved 25 million people through AIDS prevention. And basically the cut to this program is estimated to already have killed between 60 and 75,000 people just with the cuts as they presently exist. The cuts, if they are going to stay for the next 4 years, are estimated to kill 3 million people. So unless somebody else steps into the gap and pays the $6.5 million or $1 billion, excuse me, in order to run the program, effectively, the United States is going to be responsible for killing around 3 million people.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And if we had a competent president, if we had George W. Bush, if we had Ron DeSantis or whatever, they would look at a 6.5. Do you know what? So if there's 330 million people within the United States of America, I know not all of them are taxpayers, but if we take 6.5 billion and we divide it up by that, I'm like 99.9% sure it's $18. So $18 per citizen on an annual basis is what we saved in order to kill 3 million people.
That's a full order of avocado toast, though.
Yeah, and that's what my dad said. He was like, I want to get some Chick-fil-A. It's like, what the fuck?
That question is from Doom Dozer. Thanks, buddy.
Sure. Thanks, Doom.
Do you have any preferred brooms for sweeping?
No, I don't have any brands. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Key was taken. Good job. We have a sweeper emote in chat.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me give him a legitimate cleaning question or cleaning answer, though. Kirby vacuums are phenomenal. They can suck a golf ball through a garden hose. So Kirby vacuums is the closest I can get to an answer to a cleaning brand that I actually think is good.
Kirby.com/counter4K 40K. Do you have a...
No, I don't. Oh. No, but I sold vacuums for them in high school.
What painting manufacturer would you recommend for your For your miniatures.
Painting studio or painting brushes? What are you asking?
Brush. Wait, what do you mean by studio?
So there's paint studios. There's people that you can pay in order to paint your miniatures
You don't even
for
paint your own miniatures?
No, I paint mine.
Oh, well, that's what I was asking. What brand of paint do you recommend?
Okay. Well, I mean, I use GW products, Games Workshop products, but Vallejo is also great. And then also Duncan Rhodes. I love Duncan Rhodes.
Yeah.
And then for a paint studio, Mastermind Models and Miniatures. So they're out of Huntsville, Alabama. If you want your miniatures painted, then go ahead and drop them an email. They're friends of the channel.
Why don't you use good paints like Reaper paints?
Reaper?
Yeah.
I'd have to try them. I haven't tried them yet. Golden Maple paintbrushes, though, they gave me a set, and it was pretty nice.
Okay. I prefer for humanoids. I like the or like Citadel's Contrast. I think does a phenomenal job.
Contrast is for fucking lazy pieces of shit. But
why?
Sure.
Why is it lazy? Why is it for lazy piece of shit?
Because I know, no, I'm pissing off half the people who actually paint.
Good.
So contrast, the way that you do it is you paint the miniature like white with shadows and the ways that you do it, and then you hit it with contrast paint. And contrast is kind of like an ink, so it allows you to paint it really quickly because you're basically like shading it in.
Yeah.
Whereas the classic layer and then layering system, you basically build up the color gradually.
Yeah. That's why I'm not a big fan of GW because I feel like it's a little bit.
Well, GW does contrast
like
and they do the layer stuff.
And I feel like their pots are kind of shitty. And
their pots are very small and they dry out way too
expensive.
Fast. And they're really expensive.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of art that's going to, hopefully, ideally, it's a piece of art that you're going to pass on to your grandkids and stuff. So
true.
It's worth the investment.
Yeah. I do like that. Have you ever used Army Painters? I like them.
Yeah. I've used them for batch stuff.
Yeah. Duncan Rhodes has some really good metallic gold as well.
Yeah. Duncan Rhodes is a good dude. Duncan Rhodes was Games Workshop's original painter. He's a really talented person. I learned to paint from Duncan Rhodes.
And then not as common, but I really like, have you ever used a Scale 75?
I have not.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not surprising you haven't heard of them.
Yeah. They're one of the higher end brands. Something that you're intimate with.
I just Googled this to fuck with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Dash underscore dash 0 underscore 0 dash underscore dash 0 underscore 0 dash underscore dash 0 underscore 0 asks, why did you not disassociate with Destiny? What did it say about the left wing that the only friend of the stream that did not leave was the right wing one?
I don't think it's just politics. I think it's social media in general. I think everybody, basically like they'll fuck with you until they don't. And I think it's easy to just look at a drama and just be like, yeah, fuck this guy. I think that's easy. I do think the left wing is particularly cannibalistic when it comes to this kind of stuff. So y'all have that problem. I think the right wing can coalesce. I mean, Elijah Schaffer still has a fucking career and he sexually harassed people and he's a fucking Nazi. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else, but, Gavin McInnes did some, cheated on his wife and all that kind of bullshit.
Based. Not based, sorry. My bad.
Or tried to cheat on his wife, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also, Steven Crowder obviously like divorced and did all the crazy bullshit he did. So yeah, like the right wing tends to forgive as long as you're like ideologically aligned, where it seems like the left wing, like you have one fuck up and they rip you to shreds. Can you ask the question again though? Because I feel like there was a different part there.
No, that was a good answer. Okay. We got, I'm not reading that guy's username again.
Okay.
Connor. This is from Webtoon Enjoyer.
Okay, that's scary. What kind of webtoons?
Connor, what are your thoughts on the Bulwark, and why didn't you collab with them since they're full of never Trumpers Republicans?
I mean, we might collab in the future. I don't know. But the Bulwark, my frustration with them, if I had to articulate a frustration, is Never Trump is basically saying that Democrats are flawed. But there's moderate Republicans out there and there's moderate Democrats out there that are preferable to MAGA and to Trump. That's what Never Trump is. But it seems like what the Bulwark did in the run up to the presidency is they started acting like Kamala was a good candidate. And on paper, Kamala can be a good candidate. And you might want to rally your base to go as aggressively for her as possible. But are you Never Trump or are you a Democrat? You know what I'm saying? Call out her bullshit.
Okay. How do you feel about this paint job?
Yeah, let me get that a little bit more.
Jesus.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
let me show you.
Maybe a little bit of dry brushing just to bring out some of the details. But
crushed his dreams.
No, it's not crushed at all.
You crushed his dreams.
And then maybe some of the skulls in the armor, I would go back over with like bone just to kind of highlight them a little bit. But honestly, no, this is beautiful. I love it. I would love to shoot it with a las cannon. Thank you for sharing.
For the person that tried.
No, they did a good job.
There you go.
Asshole.
This is what it looks like. Hopefully the
Don't be rude. Don't be shitty. They
Okay.
did a great job.
What was the name of the studio that you recommended? The paint studio?
Mastermind Models.
Yeah,
and
shoot it to Mastermind Models and Miniatures.
No, you did a good job. Stop listening to him. He's talking shit. You did a great job.
Oh, you don't know? You never met her. You don't know who In Control was, did you?
In Control?
Yeah.
Name sounds unfamiliar, but I've also bumped into hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
There you go, guys. You see it?
It's a plague marine. It's supposed to be covered in snot, and goop, and poop.
Okay. Going back. Okay. Would you say that Horus was technically correct?
Yeah.
Why are the Tau the best Warhammer faction?
They're not. I'll expand. So what's interesting about the concept of gods in the Warhammer 40K universe is that they're effectively sentient emotions that are in a separate plane of existence that's differentiated from our own. That's also where you do faster than light travel. And so what the Emperor said is that there were no gods, at least no gods worth worshiping. And any warp-based incursions into real space were just aliens from another plane of existence. But the truth is that the gods of chaos were immortal, sentient, powerful, capable of giving power, all that kind of stuff. And so we would understand them to be gods in a pagan sense. And so Horus, realizing that his father had lied to him and also that he was on the verge of death, he embraced that power and became evil. So I don't think his line of action is correct, but if he believes that there are gods in the warp, I think that you can definitionally call the chaos gods gods. Then why are the Tau the best faction in the setting? They're not, but if you like Gundam suits, I think that's cool. Also, I think another cool thing to do would be they've released third-party miniatures for orbital shock troopers from Halo, and also like Marines from Halo, and then also there's Titanfall miniatures. So I think that if you took Tau rules, but then you use Titanfall mechs and Halo Marines and ODSTs, you could make a really kick-ass Tau army. But it wouldn't be Tau. It would be Titanfall Halo.
What does your beard smell like?
Sweat and vanilla.
How do we cure male loneliness and get guys to go outside and socialize in groups? Space racism only takes us so far.
It's true. I think number one, obviously my goal would be to make my channel self-sustaining financially and then do game nights every Saturday nights, video game stuff. And basically just have the fellas get together for effectively like team games of Call of Duty, Halo, all that kind of stuff, because those are the good old days when everybody's mic'd up, everybody's chatting shit, everybody's doing all that kind of stuff. So I think like a Saturday night game night would be pretty sick to do as a digital community. And then what I would think is we should regionalize where effectively in Discord or Reddit, we should have some kind of tags that regionalize people. So if you're in the same community, you participate in game nights together, you do all that kind of stuff, then it's easier for you guys to hang out when you're in the same city or same region. And then we should probably do like quarterly community meetups. I think that would be sweet.
Okay.
Or at least an annual community meetup.
What happens to the Republican Party and the Republican voter base after Trump?
So, in my opinion, Vance is probably going to try to seize the mantle. He's going to try to be the chosen son of Trump. I don't think any of Trump's actual sons had the charisma or competence in order to follow their father. And so I think Vance will be the standard bearer of MAGA. When it comes to MAGA, I don't think that it's going to be as relevant because I think that they are going to take a shellacking in the midterms, and I think that no one has the stranglehold on politics that Donald Trump does. So I think MAGA won't be as relevant, but they're still going to be a power broker going forward. MAGA won't control the party, but they'll be a kingmaker.
That was from Joss86.
Thank you, Joss86.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that was 9. Okay. What were some questions you struggled with personally in separating yourself from the MAGA crowd as a never Trumper? And how much do you personally introspect / wrestle with your politics?
Every day.
Oh, random meme.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the last Republican movie?
No.
Oh,
It's good.
You'll cry.
Okay.
That guy, the Adam Kinzinger guy?
Yeah.
No, it's Kissinger. Is it Kinger?
No, it's Kinzinger. Kinzinger.
He's a very cool life. Is a very cool movie.
I tried to reply guide to him to see if he'll ever reply to me, and so I can get a follow so I can message him, but he hasn't done it yet.
Piece of shit. Never mind. Fuck that guy.
No, but Adam seems like a good guy. The what I wrestle with. So what I wrestle with is like the root word of Republican is obviously Republic. And the way that I was raised, my parents told me that the reason why we're not Democrats, the reason why we don't agree with Democrats is effectively the philosophy, the root. Democrats, demos is the people. And the people, there's an excellent quote from MIB where individual people are smart.
A person is smart.
A person is smart.
People are dumb, panicky animals.
There you go. And that's actually something that my parents told me growing up is that you cannot believe in the mob. The mob killed Socrates. You know, the mob destroyed France. The mob did name a thing. The mob supported Hitler, right? So you can't trust populism to not be something that is used as a sword by cynical, political, Machiavellian, manipulative freaks. And so the Republican Party has been taken over by cynical, manipulative, Machiavellian freaks.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Because your name.
Yeah.
What is the root of Republican?
I mean, I would say Republic.
What is the root of Republic?
Definitionally, I would say like representative democracy in
the
Rome.
Root of, what is the root of Republic?
I don't know. Public.
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 Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Got a problem
so the people
there.
are represented on the public as well?
There. Public, you got
Sure.
a problem there. Uh-oh.
But conceptually, a republic is supposed to be restrained democracy, what's representative democracy in the rule of law. Ideally, that's what it is. And so I was raised with that conceptually. So the thing that I've wrestled with the most is effectively that populism has gutted the philosophy that I thought I believed in coming up. It's skinned it, it's walking around, it's wearing it, and it's laughing. It's laughing at people who actually believed in these principles.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's infuriating, and I think about it every day.
Thank you, Artist Bogram.
Thank you, Artist Bogram.
He says he wants you to... there we go. Okay. It's not Wolf. Ready?
Mm.
Do you believe algorithm-based social media should be regulated in order to prevent political polarization?
This depends on whether or not you believe in freedom, okay? So if you believe in freedom of speech, then no, it shouldn't be regulated. This is freedom of speech. The question is whether or not we can educate our population past being manipulated. And I don't know the answer to that question. So if we actually started like educating kids on the way that social media manipulates your brain, would that help? Would our public suddenly be less able to be manipulated, or are we perpetually screwed? I don't know the answer to that question. I would defer to freedom.
If you had to pick an EU country to move to, what would it be and why? That's from Amma Moon Goose.
Is Ireland or Switzerland in the EU?
Is Ireland what?
Is Ireland in the EU?
Is Ireland or Switzerland in the EU? Did you say Switzerland secondly?
Yeah.
Those are two different countries, right?
Yeah.
Why? Which one?
Is Ireland in the EU?
It's in Europe.
Well, I know it's in Europe. Is it in the EU?
Oh. Yes.
Okay.
It must
I'll
be.
just
Ireland
answer the
must
question.
be. Yes.
I'll answer
yes.
it because I asked it and Steven didn't answer the question. I thought he was a genius.
It must be in the EU because there was the whole backside.
I thought he was a polymath.
Yes.
I thought he was a historical nerd who understood many things.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I would live in Ireland.
Okay.
But if I had the opportunity to live in Switzerland, I would 100% live in Switzerland.
They wouldn't take your kind there.
I know.
Why?
I'm too swarthy.
Okay. Why those two countries?
Ireland is where I descend from ethnically, and also some of it is incredibly beautiful. And then Switzerland, they have a really cool like martial culture.
Who's Marshall?
Military culture.
Oh.
Their military culture is very cool.
What does the Swiss military do?
Kick so much ass that nobody fucks with them. They've been neutral in every major conflict for like centuries.
Is that just because they don't have fuck all to do?
No, it's because they live in the mountains, and it's because every single one of their soldiers is trained, or like every single member of the public is trained.
Okay.
So I would love to do that here, but Americans are too fat and lazy.
Okay. I want to scroll for a random question. Okay.
Okay.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Does Counterpoints watch Counterpoints? That one comes from
Hell yeah.
Dactriar.
Natalie misses, but I like Natalie a lot. Even when I disagree with her, I think she's insightful.
I'm gonna do some big Natalie hate right now. Ready?
Sure.
Fuck Counterpoints, because
she only writes one essay a year.
No, because
that's my problem with
she
her.
pussies out of every tweet that she writes.
I know.
She needs to not delete them.
I literally reply whenever she writes a banger. I put in the replies. I'm like, do not delete this.
And she still does. Oh, maybe it's because you're putting it there. Maybe you should stop. Maybe you're the reason why she deletes it all.
No, she deleted them before I started doing that.
Oh,
but she is a coward on Twitter. I agree.
We need her to be stronger.
She needs to be stronger. She needs to fight. She needs to fight the freak left. I'm not even kidding.
True.
What? What's your deal?
It sounded like you misspoke. You just said she needs to fart.
Oh, my bad.
And that
she needs to fight.
Yeah.
I should enunciate. She needs to fight the freak left.
I got you. Yeah, okay. I agree. She's getting there.
Yeah. Is everybody farting in chat?
That was a good voice clip. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Don't worry, guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna be fully recovered. Okay, we asked the questions. Is there anything else we need to do that we're contractually obligated to do? Okay, I don't think so.
Okay.
You were very good at driving. Oh, you drove my car today. Thank God.
I did. I drove a manual. Steve took a nap.
I slept the whole way. I felt good.
Yeah.
And you drove the golf cart.
And I drove the golf cart.
Monster today.
Yeah. Got some Wendy's. Got a Frosty. It was a good day.
That was good. Oh, those were the nicest range guys. I feel like range people are usually like, no offense, cops.
They are.
And that they're usually like super dicks. But all these guys were super friendly at that range. That was actually a really sick, really cool range.
Shout out to Florida Fish and Wildlife. They run a few public ranges across the state, and we went to one, and it was excellent.
For the 20 people that care in chat, I mega regret. I don't know why I picked this one. There's like 20 different Trigicon scopes. And every time I play DayZ or any video games, like the chevron, that's what you get. You get the chevron.
And you got the circle.
I got the circle thing. And I don't even know why. I was like, oh, circle looks cool. What a stupid choice.
We're still putting rounds on paper. It was good.
But it's you should just get the chevron with the dot. It's so and I have a circle thing. Like I'm a fucking alien. I feel like I'm using like a Covenant plasma rifle.
Yeah, but you can put it on like a human skull, and then it nice and outlines the human skull, and then you can put it,
Okay, well hopefully when the Civil War starts, I'll joke for my FBI guy. Hopefully when the Civil War starts, okay, I'll have a better time aiming. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know what the circle thing is called.
Reticle?
The reticle, a reticle, yeah, but this is called the chevron.
Sure.
I think is like the triangle thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, the gas station their thing is a chevron.
Chevrons? No, chevrons are like rank things. They're like rank almost triangles.
Oh. Yeah, but whatever that circle thing is, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We drove there. We did that.
Are you looking for another topic to talk about, or are we wrapping up?
I'm just thinking, make sure we didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Did you have another topic on your mind?
Well, no. I just really like that Men in Black quote.
Oh, about the people are dumb animals?
Yeah, so if you haven't watched Men in Black, you need to watch Men in Black. That's
a really good movie.
It is a really good movie.
Just don't go with Connor's really bad interpretation
that the director agrees with.
That he admits to ad-libbing.
That the script agrees with.
The script doesn't agree with it.
The script agrees with it.
It said he failed the test.
No, it said that he dragged over the table.
Yeah, but he was struggling with the answers, and everyone else was flying through it easy.
And what the fuck does that have to do with whether or not he thinks outside the box?
It means that he failed all the tests, and the only reason he got into Men in Black is because Kay was pulling for him.
I don't agree with you.
Do you think if Kay wasn't there, do you think that Jay would have passed the test?
I don't know if they would have accepted anybody.
The organization would die. K has to be at every single new member training session.
Bullshit.
That's what you're saying?
I'm calling bullshit. I don't.
Oh, is that what you're...
I don't want to relitigate it, but I
Good.
call
You
bullshit.
don't need
You're trying to
to.
gaslight me in real time.
Okay.
I'm not appreciating it.
Okay.
All right. Can I shout my shit out? Unless we're hitting another topic.
Shout away. Go shout out.
Okay.
Wait, did you do all the things you need to do in Space Marine 2?
All the things that I needed to do, for sure. Yeah.
Wait, is there...
Dude, if you want to find a new topic, I'll find a new topic. I'll yap away. I just don't know if you're tired.
Oh, yeah, but I feel bad because I didn't stream yesterday because I took it off. Because the day before I was screaming way too much. My voice was completely gone yesterday.
So are we hanging out for another 30 minutes or are we hanging out for another 10 or 5? That's what I'm asking.
Let's go 10 to 12 and a half minutes.
10 to 12 and a half minutes. So let's hit a topic and then we'll do an outro.
Mini topic, yeah.
Okay, mini topic. Okay, so mini topic. Yeah, Space Marine 2 is dope. I did what I needed to do. There's something called a Victrix helmet, which is a Space Marine helmet that has an eagle on the front of it. It's awesome. I got that.
Which faction is that from?
It's from the Ultramarines. So they're a loyalist Space Marine chapter.
I didn't hear you bring them up as a race or whatever.
They're part of the Imperium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Lord of the Rings movie of the 3?
Number 2.
Two Towers.
Yeah.
Everyone says that. Boring.
Why? What's the problem with that?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with it if you're a Redditor. Did you watch Men in Black? Did you watch Men in Black 3?
Okay, number 1, go fuck yourself. Number 2, we can go ahead. Let's fight about Lord of the Rings.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's a good movie. I agree.
Fellowship is okay. Fellowship is great.
No, it's
obviously.
Not. It's kind of a cringe one.
Well, it takes too long. It takes too long to get
exactly. It's slow and boring and cringe. Okay. Too much Hobbit shit.
And then the third one, did you like the gay sex scene at the end of it? Like what was your favorite?
The third one
part?
was pretty good.
Yeah,
clearly better than number 1. What?
That wasn't too long at the end.
No,
where they had like 5 different endings
the third
where they're
one
all celebrating.
No, that's okay. Two is probably the best. 3 is easily the next best. And
so
then,
you just wanted to say that to be a dick because 2 is the best.
It is, but you don't have to be so Redditor about it, you know?
Be so Redditor about it. It has the fucking Battle of Helm's Deep, motherfucker.
I am aware. I played infinite custom maps on StarCraft 1 about it, yeah. Okay. Hold on, I'm thinking.
I'll let you think.
No, well, go ahead. You said you're a yapper. Yap.
Okay. Hold on. Trump killed a few million people, or is going to kill a few million people through AIDS cuts. We squandered our soft power.
Do you think
Elon called him a pedophile.
Do you think that Trump is going to make it through all 4 years as president?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't think we're that lucky.
Jesus. Okay.
I
don't necessarily mean like. I just mean I'm curious if. Like I keep saying, who knows? Like what else he can do? Like the tariff stuff was pretty unmanageable. But I wonder if there's ever a limit where the Republicans actually like if they get obliterated in the midterms. I wonder if there's a world where the Republicans are like Democrats go to impeach him and like 10 Republicans like fuck it, we're just gonna take him out because not like take him out like.
Impeach him
because it's like destroying our party.
I think the legacy, like I was saying, I think MAGA is here to stay as power brokers. 2010s was obviously the Tea Party or whatever. I
feel like the only reason I disagree with you there is because I think that MAGA is Trump, and I think when Trump is gone, I don't think anybody can nobody.
I don't think they can fill his shoes, but I think JD Vance is going to try.
Yeah, but have you seen JD Vance?
I have.
I think DeSantis has a better shot than Vance of like capturing.
He does, but he has to.
But DeSantis got obliterated.
And he has to embrace his autism. I try to call Ron DeSantis multiple times and tell him like, listen, everybody's calling you autistic and freakish. You have to lean into it. You got to show off being a policy wonk and a good governor and all that kind of stuff. And he didn't listen to me.
Said he just wore real big shoes.
Yeah. Well, and then. I don't know. He was wearing like cowboy boots and shit that had platforms. Was that the joke?
Supposedly, yeah.
Anyways, but people were making Homelander jokes in reference to his smile, and I would lean into that 100% if I was him.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. So if you thought that I was interesting in the slightest, or if you like my Men in Black take, or if you like Warhammer.
Oh, wait. Did you see Men in Black 3?
No. Isn't there like a hot lady in there?
Men in Black 3 is actually really good.
Are you being sarcastic?
Nope. 2 is like, but 3 is really good. If you liked 1, you will. I promise you'll like 3.
Is that with the new actors? There was one that came out very recently with Thor.
No, fuck no. Jesus. Oh, that's MIB International. I don't know fuck all about that shit.
Okay.
Men in Black 3 is a good movie. It's very cute. You'll be like, oh, you'll like it.
Okay, cool.
And the guy that plays like the young version of
Okay.
Yeah, This is a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Brolin's great. I love Brolin.
Very good movie. Yeah, you'll like it. Okay.
All right, cool.
Go ahead.
So, shout outs. If you enjoyed everything I had to say, or if you enjoyed my debates with Steven in the past, then go ahead and type in Counterpoints, common spelling, into your search bar. You'll find my Counterpoints 40K channel. Counterpoints 40K is my science fiction one. Counterpoints Politics is where I'm posting post-recorded VODs of my live streams. I'm live 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday on Valor Media Network, VALOR, Media Common Spelling Network Common Spelling, and then on Tuesdays I'm live on my home channel. So if you want to come hang out, you want to have a good time, you want to hang out until Big Papa arrives around 2 p.m., then that's good. That's Gucci.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out and chilling, and hopefully tomorrow I will be not sick anymore. I'm working my way back, so almost back.
Excellent.
And thanks for hanging out. I love you. And I will see you guys later. Hold on. But I have to walk over and turn my PC off, so hold on. Pretend that it's just like it turns off instantly, because it's...
Oh. Bye, chat. We loves you.